How can you optimise your well-being? I'm Kate Sage. The Inspired CEO starts now. Welcome to The Inspired CEO, where each episode we explore the innovative wellness practices that are driving success and longevity in the modern business world. Joining us today is Dr. Michelle Woolhouse, an integrative medicine physician and founder of Vively. Dr. Woolhouse specialises in holistic care for menopause, anxiety and burnout. She's an ambassador and mentor for the Australasian College of Nutritional and Environmental Medicine. She hosts the FX Medicine podcast and is the author of The Wonder Within. So welcome, Dr. Michelle Woolhouse. Thank you for coming in today.
Oh, nice to see you, Kate. Thanks for having me.
It is just such a topical time to have you in. I think we're hearing more and more about women's health, menopause, perimenopause, cycle tracking, and I know that this is your absolute area of specialty. But take me back to, how did you begin, and why so passionate about women's health and that niche direction in the end?
Yeah. So, I've been a doctor for nearly 28 years.
Yes.
So it's been a long time coming, but I've always been passionate about whole person care. Yeah. And that really is the kind of framework of general practice in a way. But in fact, the way that general practice is often practiced is in very short, bite-sized pieces. And I've always been really passionate about that long, deep dive into people's lives, their health, their well-being, their lifestyle, etc. And particularly also their relationship health, their mental health, their emotional health. And so I guess, coming into my age group as well, a lot of women were coming to see me about perimenopause, menopause, period issues, hormonal issues, mental health issues. And rather than separating them all out, seeing women as a whole and understanding the complexity of women's lives is really essential. So women, do the majority of the domestic load. Many women are working more than full time. We're what's called the sandwich generation. So often many of us have got teenage kids going into menopause with aging parents.
Yes.
And so this kind of almost like it's the perfect storm. That's what's happening around perimenopause right now. And then if you add in COVID and all of the issues that happened with kids in COVID, and along with the loneliness and mental health strains for elderly people in COVID, women are really struggling right now. And if you're entering perimenopause and menopause, it can be stress is such a significant part of actually driving the momentum and some of the struggles that women are feeling.
That's a really important point, and I think we're not just a bag of organs. We're not just these simple blood tests. We're not just one thing. It's the whole person. I love that analogy of the whole person care. And taking it back to, I guess, when you're speaking with women, what are some of the biggest challenges in actually getting down to how you're going to resolve what you found if there's multiple issues? Like how do you manage that?
I think it's really important to take that holistic approach and that big picture. And many women at the end of that hour that I spend with them feel so relieved and validated to be heard. I think one of the biggest frustrations is when people go and seek health and they maybe feel diminished, or it may be passed off as anxiety and they're offered an antidepressant. And that can be quite insulting for women, particularly because when their load is acknowledged, often a reaction like anxiety is actually normal.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. And particularly not what I've seen in my experience is not a lot of women actually understand their hormones and what role they play. And when they're feeling not themselves, they haven't connected that perhaps that is to do with their cycles and what's going on in their body.
That's right. And we're dualistic too. So, we have a circadian rhythm which, goes through a monthly cycle. And then we have other aspects that drive and can challenge those hormones too. So it's like understanding the impact of what we do in our lifestyle on hormones and understanding the changes of the hormones and the impact of what's happening in our mental and physical health. And that's a real game changer for women, because once they start to understand, then they feel more empowered to do something about it.
And so you're an author now as well, and your book, The Wonder Within, Give us a bit of a summary about, I guess, what you're trying to achieve with the messaging there and the impact you hope that can have.
So essentially, I heard the other day actually that that science and spirituality, or the science of spirituality, is one of the key aspects to help people understand that we're more than just a bunch of symptoms. And so The Wonder Within is a book that the byline is a heart-led playbook for the anxious, stressed and burnt out. And what I was hoping to achieve is to get people to understand all of the healing mechanisms that we have within us. So we're often seeking outside ourselves for some level of help with our struggles. But if we have the courage to go within, we can learn so much about what's going on for us. So The Wonder Within takes you through a scientific journey through the body and how there's interactions between the heart and the gut and the brain and our environment, and the importance of actually taking time to listen to our bodies and to our minds and to our psyche and to our lives, really, to help us to kind of, I guess, co-contribute in a way, rather than feeling like we're a victim or that it's other people's fault or we need to find something outside ourselves to help us.
And this sounds very, very different to the standard generic, consultation that you might have with your GP. And so how do you differentiate the message and what you do, and how do people find you and know that there are people out there that are going to just sit and listen?
I think a lot of people are looking for depth within medicine. I think, in my opinion, the short consultations are really doing a lot of damage to the brilliance of what general practice can offer people. We have so much knowledge as a group of people, and it's being really sliced and diced up, and that it's really ineffective for people that have a significant issue or a long-standing issue. So we call a chronic issue anything beyond 3 months, maybe 6 months, for example. And so perimenopause, as we take that, can last from 5 to 7 to 10 to 15 years.
Right.
Now that's a chronic condition, even though we don't want to medicalise perimenopause, because some people can sail through and don't get any issues at all. And so it is a natural transformational process. But what I find is when women understand and they really honour what they can do, it's a total game changer. And so how people can find me, I think a lot of people are looking for a different approach.
Yes.
And whether it's about women's health or it's, anxiety or depression, it's, of course, antidepressants and some medications play a role. But we know as a practice how important it is to combine that with personal growth and evolution, and use our struggles and our illnesses as ways to develop as people.
And you personally as well have an extremely busy life. So aside from being a doctor, you also have founded, and you're a partner with Vively. So maybe give people a bit of a summary about Vively and why you think that's important.
So I joined Vively a couple of years ago as their founding medical director. And I guess there was a long-term dream of mine to gather of people to try and get all of this knowledge out of my head and into an application that can be scalable. And Vively has turned out to be that. And so essentially what Vively uses is a whole lot of personalised data to help people truly understand the interconnection between exercise, diet, stress and sleep. And those 4 are the pillars of really good health. Now, of course, we have genetic, aspects, or we have, toxins and environmental, issues and social issues. But fundamentally, for most people, if they can get those 4 pillars right, health will improve in so many different ways and to such a significant impact. The team at Vively are fabulous, and I love working with these young, dynamic people who think differently to me. So the combination is beautiful, and people are getting really profound impacts just by understanding. So one of the key things that we do at Vively is we use continuous glucose monitoring. And so that's a little device that you wear at the back of your arm, and it uses glucose, which is a homeostatic marker, meaning it's a balance marker throughout the body. And we watch and see how lifestyle impacts that particular metric. And then they can see some of their choices, some of their stresses, what impacts sleep is happening, what's happening with exercise. And they can then go, it takes them out of their sweet spot of denial
yes.
and into a more empowered way that they can then truly understand what
and the
works for them.
data is powerful, isn't it?
It
So
is.
how do you use all of this information you have to manage your busy lifestyle, your family, your multiple jobs?
Yeah.
What does a day in the life of Michelle look like?
So, well, I manage because all of those different facets of what I do all intersect, and that's really important for me. So my friend actually said, you've got a portfolio career. So everything that I do has to come down to this essence of holism for me. And I've been working in this area for 28 years. And so delivering this message over and over about the importance of holism, because I think it's really missing in medicine. It's been very fragmented, and it's been fragmented in multiple different parts of our lives. So bringing it all back together is something that I find really passionate about. But personally, I do try and look after myself as much as I can.
Yes.
Having teenagers in the house is always having spaghetti bolognese one night a week. But no, I look after my diet. I exercise every day. I've rekindled my love for yoga, which I lost, which is really lovely. And now that the house is quieter, so I only have one daughter at home, I've gotten back into a much more regular routine with meditation and a daily practice of stretching, meditation, mindfulness, tapping, and are now discovering mantra.
Yes.
So really finding a way that I can come into myself every day and just support myself. So self-compassion for me was a game changer, and I try and practice that all the time, this internal friendliness and kindness to myself.
Well, if people are looking for more information, obviously they can go to your website, drmichellewoolhouse.com.au.
No, not AU.
No, .com.
.com.
And if people are looking to find perhaps another doctor that is in their area and they're looking for more holistic care, what can they Google or search if they can't see you?
So if they Google integrative doctor near me, holistic doctor, locally, so if they're different parts of the Australia or internationally. Also, the Australian College of Nutrition and Environmental Medicine has a database.
Fantastic.
So does the Australasian Society of Lifestyle Medicine. So they do training, and so then they put on the names of the people that they've trained. And so these doctors are passionate about teaching a much more holistic and lifestyle orientated medicine.
That will be incredibly helpful for our watchers, viewers today. So thank you so much. And this is Ticker. We'll be right back.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.